Have you ever heard of a company whose taxis have no drivers, yet it's valued at more than $126 billion? And here's the crazy part. This company is now competing directly with Tesla, Uber, and even Amazon. The company's name is Waymo. But here's the real question. Could Waymo become the world's largest transportation company in the future? And could it put millions of driving jobs at risk? Stay until the end, because I'll show you the one thing about Waymo's business model that has investors pouring billions of dollars into the company. Let's get started. Waymo is owned by Alphabet, the parent company of Google. For years, most people viewed Waymo as just an experimental self-driving project. But today, that has completely changed. Waymo now operates around 4,000 self-driving vehicles across the United States and completes roughly 500,000 paid rides every week. What's even more impressive is that this number has grown nearly 10 times compared to just 1 year ago. But here's where things get interesting. If Waymo is growing this fast, why is Tesla still behind in the commercial robotaxi market? After all, Tesla has millions of vehicles on the road. Waymo only has a few thousand. Yet Waymo is considered the leader in commercial robotaxis. Why? Because Waymo is already serving real paying customers every day. Meanwhile, Tesla is still working to scale its robotaxi vision. And now Waymo has made a move that could change everything. It's called the Ojai Robotaxi. And this vehicle could be a game changer. Previous Waymo vehicles were based on the Jaguar I-Pace platform. The new Ojai was designed specifically for autonomous ride-hailing from day one. That means lower costs, easier maintenance, and potentially much higher profit margins. Some analysts believe the new Ojai fleet could cost significantly less than the older Jaguar-based fleet. And in business, one rule matters more than almost anything else. Growing revenue is great, but reducing costs is even better, because profit margins ultimately determine the future of a company. And that's exactly where Waymo is making its biggest bet. But here's another question. How does Waymo actually make money? The answer is simple. Every ride generates revenue. But unlike traditional taxi companies or ride-sharing services, Waymo doesn't need to pay a human driver for every trip. If the technology continues to improve, operating costs could drop dramatically over time. That's why many investors believe robotaxis could become one of the biggest business opportunities of the next decade. However, the road ahead won't be easy. Waymo faces serious competition. Tesla is racing to build its own robotaxi network. Amazon-backed Zoox is developing purpose-built autonomous vehicles. And several Chinese autonomous driving companies are expanding rapidly. Now imagine this. What happens if Tesla converts millions of existing vehicles into a robotaxi network? The competitive landscape could change overnight. And what if Amazon leverages its logistics network, AI infrastructure, and financial resources to scale Zoox? The entire industry could look very different. That's why many analysts believe we're entering a massive robotaxi war, and the company that wins could generate billions of dollars in future revenue. Now let's talk about the stock market. Waymo is not publicly traded as a standalone company. You can't buy Waymo stock directly. However, investors in Alphabet are paying very close attention, because if Waymo succeeds, it could become a multi-billion-dollar revenue engine for Alphabet. Some analysts even believe autonomous transportation could eventually become one of Alphabet's most valuable business segments. But there is still one major risk: safety. A single high-profile accident, a software failure, or new government regulations. Any of these could slow adoption significantly. That's why robotaxis represent both a massive opportunity and a major risk. Yet one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Artificial intelligence, automation, and self-driving vehicles are no longer futuristic concepts. They're becoming business reality. And over the next decade, millions of people may travel every day in vehicles without drivers. So now I want to hear from you. Who do you think will win the robotaxi war? Waymo, Tesla, or another company entirely? Comment Waymo or Tesla below. And don't forget to subscribe for more billion-dollar business stories, investing insights, and the future of technology.